In today's video, I'm making chicken marsala. It is a delicious Italian-American dish. Came over in the early 1900s when the Italian immigrants came over. Delicious dish. If you haven't tried it yet, I recommend you try it. This is a perfect video to learn how to make it. Simple dish. If you guys like other Italian dishes, other Italian pasta dishes, this is going to be one for you guys. I liken it to, I made a chicken fricassee on this channel, and it doesn't taste like chicken fricassee, but the procedure of cooking it is very, very similar, and it just basically has a different wine sauce. The fricassee was a white wine, and this is a Marsala wine. But I'm going to show you guys how to cook this up, and let's get into it. All right, guys, now before all the Italians in the comments section kill me, this dish is traditionally made with linguine pasta, and I am making it with mashed potatoes. Very American thing to do. Now, this is just how I like it, and to be honest with you guys, I don't have linguine on hand, so I'm just going with what I got. You can do it however which way you prefer. All right, guys, all we're doing here is chopping up these potatoes, dicing them into about 4 pieces. Okay, this is a good time now that we got those potatoes boiling. We got time to actually start making this dish. So we're just gonna pat down our chicken. We got 3 chicken breasts here, and what I did was I pounded them out to about 1/4 inch of thickness, because you want these to be the same thickness at the very least, because you don't want to be cooking them and then finishing at a different time. So what you're going to want to do now is you're going to want to take the chicken, put it in a bag, and in this bag you're going to want to go ahead and put 3 tablespoons of flour in there and 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and then close that bag up and just kind of dust that chicken with the flour and salt mixture. We're gonna turn on the burner. We're gonna get about 1 tablespoon of olive oil in the pan and 2 tablespoons of butter. We're gonna let that melt down and let this pan start to heat up. All right, at this point, our butter's melted, olive oil's there. So what the olive oil does, guys, is it just prevents the butter from burning. And right now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get that chicken. It's very important you shake off the excess flour before you go ahead and put this in the pan. We're basically just trying to cook it through and get a nice golden brown on the outside. We're gonna work on this shallot. Basically, just gotta peel off this skin like an onion. Now that I got this shallot all peeled up, got that layer off, it's looking nice and ready to go. Just gonna dice it up. Just like that. After we do that shallot, we just gotta also mince up this garlic clove. Alright guys, at this point, I'm gonna do this parsley. Now we're just gonna take off these leaves here. Alright, I got those all plucked from the stems. Now I'm simply just going to chop up this parsley nice and fine. Chicken's nice and browned up on both sides. I'm gonna go ahead and take that off the burner. Separate that out in a plate. Okay, at this point we're gonna throw 1 more tablespoon of butter in here. Just gonna let that melt up. Then we're gonna add in 8 ounces of white mushrooms. Put those in there. We're gonna let these cook up We're gonna scrape off some of that fond in the pan, keeping all that beautiful flavor. We're gonna let these cook up for probably about 3 to 4 minutes. Alright, it's been about 2 to 3 minutes. At this point, we're gonna throw in our shallots and our garlic. We're just gonna let those cook up in there for another about 2 to 3 minutes. It was 2 cloves of garlic and 2 tablespoons worth of shallots. We're also gonna throw in another 1/4 teaspoon of salt in there. Alright guys, at this time we're gonna be adding in 2/3 cup of chicken stock, 2/3 cup of Marsala wine, and 2/3 cup of heavy cream. And we're gonna scrape that fond off the pan. We're gonna let that get back up to a simmer. Before we do that, we're gonna get some fresh thyme here. So you're gonna want about 2 tablespoons worth. We're just gonna eyeball it here, to be honest with you guys. But we're just gonna simply take off the leaves from the stem. Alright guys, I've made a mess and also got my thyme in there. If you guys want to measure it out beforehand, it's 2 teaspoons worth of fresh thyme in there and or dried. Now we're just gonna let this get up to a simmer and simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes. I'll probably do about 13. You guys basically just want to get this up to a nice gentle boil and boil this for about 12 to 15 minutes. I've got it on medium high, and at some point throw in an 1/8 teaspoon of fresh black pepper. Alright, so for those of you who haven't seen my chicken fricassee video where I made my homemade mashed potatoes, all you're going to simply need here is to drain out the water on those potatoes. You're going to end up poking a fork through those potatoes, and when it goes right through with no resistance, you're going to know that they're done. I threw in a stick of butter in there, and then you're just going to start mashing these up. Alright, I also just like to add in a dash of milk, and then also salt and pepper to taste. And just mix it back up. Alright, and there you have it. Delicious, fresh, homemade mashed potatoes. So much better than the bag. You guys can also peel the skins off if you don't like the skins. This is how my family has always made it, just with the skins. This is how I like it. You can certainly peel them off. But they're ready to go. Just cover them up, and then they'll be ready nice and hot when this dish is done. Alright, so after I let it go for about 15 minutes, it was just stewing up nicely. This sauce is really, really thickened up and condensed down. We're just gonna add that chicken back in at this point, and we're gonna let it heat up, let it cook in there for about another 2 to 3 minutes, and we're just gonna want to get that sauce all over the chicken. Just gonna turn that down to a medium, and then just let that kind of warm up for about 2 minutes, and it'll be done, guys. Alright, now that you guys know how to make it for yourself, here's how mine came out. Looks delicious. Looks absolutely delicious, guys. Smells amazing. That sauce really cooked down. I'm gonna take a bite here, make sure I get all the components. Wow. That is an absolute classic. The sauce really thickened up, has a really nice sweetness, a lot of that wine cooked out, but it adds a lot of flavor to that sauce there. Delicious dish. Hope you guys get to try it out for yourself. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget, like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and let me know what you want to see next.